Hello and welcome to the Channel One Newsroom, live from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano. I am Eno Safo. Coming up, construction work on Winneba.
We will restore this company. We will restore our business.
In Channel One Business, Cocoa Board rejects allegations its officials are engaged in private cocoa purchasing activities. In Channel One Sports, Black Stars coach Carlos Queiroz faces first test as Ghana takes on Mexico in international friendly on Saturday. Start off from the central region, where the ongoing modification works of the Winneba-Mankasim Highway has affected water supply to Imprimim in the Gomoa West districts there. Residents who are reeling in the crisis say an urgent remedial measure is crucial to prevent the outbreak of diseases. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado has more in the following report.
For the past 3 months, water has become a scarce commodity in Imprimim, in the Gomoa West district of the central region. Unwholesome sources and sachet water have become supply sources for the people, sparking fears of an outbreak of diseases.
This place, there is no good water, and the one that they fetch in the dam, even there is salt. When you want to drink, you cannot drink. So if they can help, so that this place too can get a good water for a good health. The one that they used to drink is expensive. 1 bucket of water is 4 cedis. And if you don't have the 4 cedis, you cannot afford for water.
Residents have attributed the crisis to damage of water supply lines by the contractor undertaking the Winneba-Mankasim section of the N1 Highway redevelopment project.
The construction of the road, where the water is being seated, they are doing the road construction. So all the pipeline, they are changing them. So we are finding it difficult, but we consult the district assembly. They brought us some water last month.
Almost started so much. 1 year, won't be a pipe. It's you na it's your tea at Dahana, and yes, sir. And a bew on so a big to be good not to be. And a bioma, a woman in you, ato, sanity in you, what do you have my
Others also link the exacerbation of the situation to reduced supply from the Konyak water treatment plant that suffered a breakdown as a result of illegal mining activities and yet to resume operation at full capacity.
Yes, we are facing that water situation since 7 months ago. Last year, the Konyako Dam, our water flow from the Konyako Dam, but due to the Galamsey, it can't flow again.
Traditional leaders of the community are appealing for an urgent remedial measure.
Water company, any as no say a drobi or na say treatment
They want government to consider redeveloping a dam constructed by the Ghana Irrigation Development in 1992 for farming into a treatment source to serve Mpumem and other communities in the Gomoa West District.
Jida, one and obey build dam no through the Ghana government. No, but breeded dam no man here. Yadi farming. Now, Oba and Wakache and your farm cook. Now, would be butum wayema a sopra yinsu. Sabambo share not dear in your community in Kumpo. The surrounding communities are better make the whole Gomoa and even a bit to support central region, the whole central region.
For several months, residents of Gomoa and Promem have been cut from the Ghana water supply lines, creating a state of discomfort here in the community. For the Channel One Newsroom, I am Akwesi Ado, Promem, Central Region.
From the central region, let's head to the Ashanti region, where commuters using the Mampong Edra stretch are experiencing travel difficulty following the destruction of the Sataso Bridge in the Mampong municipality. The stretch serves as a major route for transporting farm produce to urban centers like Kumasi and Accra. However, years of neglect has worsened the current state of the bridge, which motorists say has become a death trap. Channel One News' Ashanti regional correspondent Tawfiq Mohammed visited the area and filed this report.
On Monday, May 18, 2026, trading activities on the stretch, which serves as a major route for transporting farm produce to urban centers like Accra and Kumasi, came to a halt following the collapse of the bridge. This stretch also serves as a major route for economic activities connecting major areas including Ejura, Amantin, Atibobo, and Yeji, making it a key corridor for farmers and traders. The situation has worsened with the onset of the rains, disrupting daily activities. A contractor to repair the bridge was awarded in 2024, but work has not been done. Although the Mampong municipal has created a temporary pathway for drivers, they say that is not enough. The drivers who are unhappy with the situation say it must be addressed immediately.
I don't know the reason why the work is not continue. So what we can say is, in this world or this era that we are living, we are in danger zone. Or if this road is closed, okay, what are you going to do? Yeah, many of them are farmers. So if the road is closed, okay, farmers have nothing to do. They have to stay their home doing nothing because they don't have input even to support their farms. So what we want to say is the government must do something immediately because if not, it won't help us. It won't help us.
Before say you be drew a drum puno, but ye come one, you take about 3 hours and Zani going to a ram. More Namoka and penny for tenentem, yes, ram. Woman penny for us on to say, Yamdus or more. Sena contractor was on a moi, Nasa son or Mrs. Sano, Nomdi of Fraba or Monpe, Nema near my yard because I never have in a car because I never said be a mammy, any your family, your brothers, no. And net done a the beer, a duck a sheer pie, and map my use of.
Meanwhile, The municipal chief executive of Mampong, Yakubu Yusuf, lamented the current state of the bridge and assured that government was taking steps to address the challenges.
And the good news is that the regional minister have been able to contact him since they are bringing a new contractor to the route. So the old contractor, since 2024, has not been able to execute the job. So we are bringing a new contractor to just complete the job for us.
Drivers say using this stretch has become very dangerous for them. They are thus urging authorities to come to their aid by fixing it. For Channel One News, I'm Tawfiq Mohammed, Sataso, Mampong Municipality, Ashanti Region.
Parliament says it is working with government to ensure justice is served in the case involving the detention of Asante Achim North MP Kwame Mampong in the Netherlands. The legislator was reportedly arrested over alleged Roman scam and money laundering activities. There's more in this report.
As Parliament begins the second meeting of its second session, attention has turned to the detention of the independent member of Parliament for Asante Achim North in the Netherlands. Kwame Mampong was reportedly arrested at Schiphol Airport on May 8th over allegations linked to Roman scams and money laundering. The developments has triggered discussions in Parliament, with the minority urging government to intensify diplomatic engagement to ensure a swift and fair resolution of the matter.
We understand that the government, Parliament, and our mission in The Hague are engaged in securing legal representation and consular support. We acknowledge those steps, but they are not sufficient. This arrest has inflicted deeply damaging blow to Ghana's international reputation. Our country's name has been dragged through European headlines in a manner that reflects poorly on this Parliament and this nation. The government must respond to this as what it is, a crisis with serious reputational consequences for Ghana. We call on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Speaker's Office to intensify engagement, deploy a senior diplomatic presence, brief this House regularly, and issue a formal statement.
Responding to the concerns, the majority leader called for restraint in public commentary while investigations and legal processes continue.
I urge Ghanaians to be circumspect in their comments regarding this matter, as all accused persons are innocent until proven guilty. We must not do anything to compromise the legitimate defenses available to our colleague.
In his opening address to the House, Speaker Alban Babin conveyed Parliament's sympathies to the family of the MP. He assured the nation that Parliament and government are pursuing a coordinated approach to ensuring justice is served within the framework of international law.
Parliament is working with government to ensure justice is done in this matter. I will in due course keep the House updated with developments in the matter. Meanwhile, permit me on your behalf to convey the empathy of the House to members of his family and his constituents for this unfortunate development, and to call on them to exercise restraint, for we are with them and we are doing everything to make sure that he is accorded all the due respect, dignity, and the opportunities available to all of us.
Now, the second meeting of this very session of Parliament is now in full swing. We expect that a number of bills, we're told about 50 bills will be considered during this meeting, but very important to the Speaker, and he did make some emphasis on it today, is the Human, Sexual and Family Values Bill, also known as the Anti-LGBTQ+ Bill. That bill is at the committee stage for consideration. The committee has concluded with a stakeholder engagement. The Speaker urged the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee to conclude with its report presented to plenary so that the Parliament will pass the bill in this very meeting. From Parliament House here in Accra, Charles Osukumi for Channel One News.
The Hohoe Municipal Assembly has attributed the delay in operationalizing the light industrial park to the lack of electricity, water supply and septic tanks for the washrooms. The facility, which is expected to accommodate 24 garages for artisans, has remained abandoned since 2024. Channel One News' Ni Ayukwe Okain has more in the following report.
The light industrial park, which is expected to accommodate 24 garages with dedicated sections for spraying, mechanical works and auto-electrical services for artisans in the area, has remained abandoned since 2024 due to the lack of electricity, water supply and septic tanks. Reacting to the development during proceedings at the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the Hohoe Municipal Chief Executive Prosper Kumi said efforts are underway to operationalize the facility.
The project was done without incorporating electricity supply, water. In fact, even the washrooms were without septic tanks. So we are now putting in efforts to that effect.
Did you see a copy of the contract? I'm wondering why a facility like this will be built and then the washrooms will not have septic tanks.
I was shocked myself. I was surprised myself.
Yeah. What exactly is the facility supposed to be?
They are garages. So,
garages?
Yes. So we are supposed to move the garages in town, the artisans in town, to that place. So without those social facilities, it will be very difficult moving them.
Speaking to journalists after appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Abla Gomoa, said government is seeking investors for the implementation of the Marine Drive project, which has seen little progress since 2017, despite the demolition of structures and sword-cutting ceremony for the project.
I've reconstituted the board to look at it, and we have taken steps to put together a document that we can present to investors. The anchor developer and Amdel are going to, as soon as possible, they are going to start the roadshow to see how investors can be brought in so that the work can proceed.
The Public Accounts Committee referred the procurement director at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Annabella Amevo, to the Attorney General for prosecution over sole sourcing on 3 contracts. Reporting for Channel One News from Adan, I am Ni Ayukwe Okain.
The Court of Appeal has unanimously overturned the revocation of the license of GN Savings and Loans Company Limited, restoring the company's authority to operate. The ruling, delivered by a 3-member panel of the Appellate Court, held that the decision by the Bank of Ghana to revoke the company's license was unfair and unreasonable. There's more in the following report.
According to the court, the Bank of Ghana failed to justify its decision to revoke the license of GN Savings and Loans Company Limited. The Appellate Court consequently allowed the appeal and set aside the earlier High Court judgment, which had upheld the regulator's decision. The court further directed the receiver to hand over possession, management and control of the company's assets and operations back to the shareholders. On January 4, 2019, GN Bank Limited was reclassified from a universal bank into a savings and loans institution and subsequently renamed GN Savings and Loans Company Limited. However, on August 16, 2019, the Bank of Ghana, then under the leadership of former Governor Dr. Ernest Addison, revoked the company's operating license as part of the financial sector cleanup exercise. Following the revocation, Eric Nananipa was appointed as receiver. Later that same month, Group Indum, led by Dr. Papako Sindum, challenged the revocation at the High Court in Accra. But on January 24, 2024, the High Court, presided over by Justice Ado, upheld the decision of the Central Bank. The ruling has now been overturned by the Court of Appeal, effectively restoring the license of GN Savings and Loans Company Limited. founder of the company, Dr. Papa Kwesindum, says the company will bounce back.
Of change. And we are expecting that with the license restored, that we will now play our part in making sure that this country achieves the level of prosperity that is needed. There are just too many difficulties. Some people have died. Some have lost their jobs. Assets have been destroyed. Many things will not get back. But what we promise is that we will restore this company. We will restore our business.
Let's stay on this matter and speak to the lawyer for GN Savings and Loans, Cletus Alenga. Many thanks for joining us, counsel.
You are welcome. Good
and
evening.
Congratulations on your win. Good evening to you too.
Thank you.
Tell us, what arguments did you advance to earn such a judgment?
Well, in essence, from the High Court, the argument has been that the Bank of Ghana, in coming to that decision, failed to take into consideration some key relevant matters which they ought to have taken into consideration. And in essence, rather decided to dwell on things that were not necessary for the decision. Because if you look at the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Act, the provision under which the Bank of Ghana came, the only reason for revoking the licenses under that provision is that that financial institution must be insolvent. And so the question was whether the GN Savings and Loans was insolvent at the time Bank of Ghana was revoking the license. And our argument was simple, that they were not, because if you look at all the assets that they had at the time, which the Bank of Ghana did not take into consideration, they are taking all those matters into consideration, they would have come to the undeniable conclusion that the bank was not insolvent. That's the argument we advanced at the High Court, which we were not successful. But we went to the Court of Appeal, and today the Court of Appeal agreed with us and said that the bank was not insolvent at the time.
Right. So what does this mean for GN Savings and Loans?
Well, so the orders of the court were very clear that first, the decision to revoke the license has been quashed. The bank was ordered to restore the license of GN Savings and Loans to enable them operate. The receiver has been ordered to return both management and all assets of GN Savings and Loans in his possession back to the management that was in place before the revocation of the license. And so basically, it's a reset to, or it's a return to the status quo that was there before the license was revoked. So GN Bank will go back to operation and then operate as a savings and loans company.
In revamping GN Savings and Loans, that will require a lot of capital, I believe. Do your clients have the financial muscle to revamp it?
Yes, our clients have always been prepared to operate this savings and loans, and that is why they have pursued this matter to its logical conclusion. Okay. So from the day the license was revoked, they had always insisted that they were not insolvent, and that is actually where we are now. And so yes, they are very ready. They are willing to work with the Bank of Ghana on this matter and to make sure that the savings and loans company comes back to full operation.
The court, as you mentioned, ordered the transfer of all assets and properties back to GN Savings and Loans. What processes are expected to be triggered to get these back?
So we will need to work with the receiver on that, because there are a lot of properties. I think usually people restrict themselves to the buildings they see, which some of them have been left in the bushes and other things. But there are a lot of assets beyond the buildings. There are vehicles, there are motorbikes, there are office furniture and other equipment, there are computers and other. There are so many of them. So we will need to sit with the receiver and then see how all those transfers will be done as quickly as possible. Like I said, our clients are willing to get back to full operation as quickly as possible. And so we will work with all the parties, the Bank of Ghana and then the receiver, to make sure that we get all these things sorted out as quickly as possible so that they can start operation.
But are you sure that these assets still exist?
Well, the receiver will now have to come and tell us if they do not exist, where they have gone to. The orders of the bank of the court was that they should be returned to us in the state in which they are now. If some of them have, for some reason, gone back to third party, they will have to tell us how they got into third party hands, and whatever procedure that we realized from it, what was done with it. And so once we sit down, I think we can go through all this and then get back to full operation.
Thank you for speaking to us, lawyer.
You are most welcome. Thank you too.
Let's still stay in the courts because the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronya DC, has been granted bail by the High Court in Accra after being remanded over charges of false publication. The court granted him bail of 100,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties after prosecutors said they did not oppose the application. As part of the conditions, Abronya DC must report to the police CID every 2 weeks, surrender his travel documents and seek permission before traveling outside the country. Speaking to the media, the NPP General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodia says they will petition the Chief Justice over what it describes as misconduct by the Circuit Court judge handling the case.
Indeed, we find the conduct of the trial judge as unacceptable, in some extent a misconduct. And it's not something that we are going to just let go. We are filing a petition to the Chief Justice for Justice to be removed from the case of the Republic versus Abronya, because we believe that he has taken stand in the case and he cannot be a judge in his own case, and therefore justice will well serve when the case is given to a different judge to look into the matter.
You are going to petition the Chief Justice.
Yes.
When do you intend to do that?
We are going to do it tomorrow.
Now, the lawyer representing the family of the late Charles Emisa has explained the reasons behind the family's decision to pursue legal action over the circumstances surrounding his death, insisting the suit is intended to drive reforms in Ghana's emergency healthcare system. Channel One News' Jude Duncan caught up with a lawyer and filed this report.
Lawyer for the family says the decision to sue those involved in the death of 29-year-old Charles Emisa is aimed at pushing for reforms and improving emergency healthcare delivery in Ghana. Dr. Matilda Emisa, acting as the administratrix of the estate of Charles Henry Emisa, is seeking 20 million in general damages at the High Court in Accra over the February 2026 incident that sparked national outrage and reignited concerns over Ghana's persistent no-bed syndrome. The suit names the Ghana Police Hospital, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, 4 doctors and 3 nurses attached to the facilities, as well as the Attorney General's Department. Speaking to Channel One News, counsel for the plaintiff said the family is demanding 20 million in damages as a deterrent against medical negligence and to ensure healthcare professionals and institutions uphold proper standards of care.
Money, what is money? You may get the 20 million today and tomorrow you are dead. But I think that there needs to be some reform. This should be a deterrent to other professionals. Okay, so that, it can happen to you. You go to the hospital and then they tell you, and I hear there was a 70-year-old person who, 2019, I read through the reports, and that was when I think the ministry issued what's his name? No bedroom syndrome report came up, you see. And then still, but you see, after that, what happened to the people who were involved? Nothing. So assuming we go to court and we are successful, and you hear that, 20 million, damages was hit against the professionals. If I'm a professional, I'll sit up.
Lawyer Emmanuel Dakwa also criticized what he described as the unprofessional conduct of officials at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, alleging that the body of Charles Emisa was deposited at the morgue without the family being duly informed, leading to its decomposition.
When the accident occurred and the person died, the Charles Emisa, late, died at Kolebu Hospital, they dumped the body according to them, the mortuary. And when the plaintiff and his family were informed by the police that they had found an accident victim, they went to Kolebu, the mortuary, and they found the brother, the relative, in the corridors of the mortuary, not in the cold room. And the body was maggot infested. Can you imagine? The guy was decomposing. He was decomposing. So do you realize, I went to the funeral. The casket was not opened. I mean, nobody saw the body because it was decomposed.
This is still the Channel One Newsroom on Channel One TV. Still to come.
As the sun rises over the city of Accra, its warm glow settles on one of the city's most thoughtfully planned communities, Lakeside Estate, and once again, something exceptional is unfolding. After the successful sale of our 4-bedroom Orca at Lakeside Hills, a new masterpiece is about to make its debut. An exquisite 4-bedroom story Orca home overlooking a breathtaking landscape of the Abri Mountains. This remarkable home now features a total floor area of 330 square meters, set on a generous 7,140 square foot plot.
Your health is in your hands, but at some point, it passes on to us. At Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center, we believe that quality healthcare isn't a privilege, it's a right. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, we are fully prepared to effectively deal with all colorectal and proctological conditions. Our team of highly skilled doctors, surgeons, and nurses are renowned for their expertise in minimally invasive and painless laser, ligature, and longoproctological surgery. We are committed to providing a wide range of services to meet the diverse needs of our patients. Mintuba Hospital, your health is our priority. Visit Mintuba Hospital today or call us at 0244 581 541 or 0271 054 204. Mintuba Hospital, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Back up next is Channel One Business with Neteli Nete Ajahu.
CNR Business is brought to you by EcoBank.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabedim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
How are you doing, Natalie?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well. What's happening at Cocoa Board now?
Some cocoa farmers are accusing some officials at Cocoa Board of secretly buying cocoa beans outside their approved channels, and Cocoa Board is saying that is not true.
Interesting. Give us the details.
Okay. Now, Cocoa Board has rejected allegations that some officials of the company are involved in private cocoa purchasing activities. Daniel Odromes has more in this report.
The Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, which made the allegation, stated that the practice undermines, distorts competition and worsens financial pressures within the cocoa sector. But speaking to the media after the official announcement of the 2027 World Cocoa Foundation Partnership meeting to be held in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abe, described the allegations as untrue.
Those who buy cocoa are the agents of the license buying companies. Officials of Cocoa Board do not buy cocoa. The Cocoa Board licenses license buying companies who have their agents at the districts who buy the cocoa on their behalf. And the license buying companies are buying this cocoa on behalf of Cocoa Board. So how can anybody say that an official of Cocoa Board is out there? It's born out of ignorance.
Meanwhile, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampim said the Global Cocoa Leadership Gathering will advocate sustainable pricing mechanisms aimed at improving the livelihoods of cocoa farmers.
Cocoa directly supports the livelihoods of more than 50 million people globally, according to the Fair Trade Report. Yet, despite sustaining a global chocolate industry worth well over $100 billion annually, many cocoa farmers continue to live below living income levels. That contradiction must concern all of us, because the future of chocolate cannot be secure if the future of cocoa farmers remain uncertain.
Now, Ghana's gold reserves recorded a month-on-month improvement in April 2026, offering some relief to earlier concerns over depletion pressures, even though the stock remains lower on a year-on-year basis. According to the Bank of Ghana's latest summary of macroeconomic and financial data, gold holdings stood at 22.3 tons in the first 4 months of the year, down from 31.4 tons the same period last year. Here's more.
The drop had initially fueled concerns about potential depletion pressures on the country's external buffers, particularly at a time of heightened focus on reserve adequacy and macroeconomic stability. However, the 22.3 tons recorded in April 2026 is an improvement from the 20.8 tons recorded in March 2026. Despite the annual decline in physical holdings, Ghana's external sector remained broadly resilient, underpinned by strong commodity exports. Gold exports alone generated about $6.86 billion over the review period, maintaining their dominance as the country's single largest foreign exchange earner and reinforcing Ghana's position among Africa's leading bullion exporters. Total exports stood at $11.15 billion, significantly outpacing imports of $5.87 billion, resulting in a trade surplus of $5.28 billion for the period.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has stated that Africa's financial future will be strongly shaped by deeper cross-border payment systems and closer regulatory cooperation among countries on the continent. According to him, the next phase of financial development in Africa would depend less on isolated national systems and more on how effectively countries are able to connect their payments infrastructures, harmonize regulations, and build trust across jurisdictions. Here is more.
Speaking at the opening of the ACI World Congress 2026 in Accra, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, said global financial markets are rapidly evolving due to technology, regulation, and economic shifts. He stressed that fragmented systems remain a major barrier to efficiency, competitiveness, and financial inclusion across Africa.
Markets that are not connected will not compete. Capital does not respect borders, but regulation often does. Capital does not respect borders, but regulation does. The countries that recognize this are building integration into the design of their financial systems rather than retrofitting it after the fact. We are working with our partners across the region on licensed passporting initiatives for fintechs, on harmonized payment rails, and on the broader vision of a connected African financial market.
President of ACI Ghana, Lawrence Mampong, described the Congress as a key moment for Africa's growing role in global finance.
Around the world, economies are adapting to shifting realities. Technology is transforming markets at unprecedented speed. Conversations around liquidity, resilience, digital transformation, sustainability, regulation, and regional integration are becoming increasingly important. At the same time, Africa's financial market story continues to evolve rapidly, driven by innovation, reform, resilience, and ambition. Now, this Congress, therefore, provides more than just a platform for discussion.
Let's now bring you an update on crude oil prices and how the local currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for business. I am Netili Neti Ajaho. Back to you, Eno.
Thank you very much, Netili. Let's do some more stories. Let's head back to the courts, where the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Entry-Boesiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has denied authorizing illegal mining on Akunta Mining's concession, insisting the arrangement with prosecution witness Henry Okum was solely for land reclamation and coconut planting. The High Court in Accra on Thursday heard Wontumi testify in his own defense in the ongoing trial over allegations of assigning mineral rights without ministerial approval.
Who is standing trial together with Akunta Mining opened his defense after the prosecution closed its case. Before taking the witness stand, the defense called two witnesses, mining expert Wisdom Gomashi and former Deputy Lands Minister George Mrikuduka. Under cross-examination by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shamsai, Wontumi admitted allowing prosecution witness Henry Okum, also known as PW2, access to the concession, but denied granting him permission to mine. Wontumi further denied allegations that he helped PW2 acquire excavators and other earth-moving equipment to carry out mining operations. The prosecution, however, insisted Wontumi knowingly permitted mining activities on the concession and deliberately avoided physically visiting the site to distance himself from the operations. Dr. Justice Shamsai also suggested to the court that Wontumi knew PW2 was a small-scale miner and allowed him onto the concession for mining purposes. But Wontumi rejected the claim, insisting PW2 introduced himself as a service support miner and not a miner. Central to the prosecution's case is PW2's earlier testimony that Wontumi agreed he could mine portions of the concession and use proceeds from the mining activities to fund reclamation works. During Thursday's proceedings, Wontumi admitted there was no written agreement documenting the reclamation agreement. He, however, maintained that PW2 carried out reclamation works and planted about 18,000 coconut trees on the land, adding that they intended to share proceeds from the coconut plantation when the trees mature.
At least 5 houses and several properties have been buried in a mudslide at Adaklu Helekpe following a downpour on Wednesday night that triggered the collapse of rocks and debris from the 600-meter Adaklu mountain, displacing several residents. 9 vehicles and about 50 goats and other livestock were trapped in the mud as residents scrambled for safety. 2 persons buried in the debris were rescued by community members. Channel One News' Volta regional correspondent Desmond Selasiago reports.
Residents of Adaklu woke up to scenes of destruction after hours of heavy rainfalls triggered a massive mudslide from the Adaklu mountain, sweeping through parts of the community and burying homes, vehicles and farmlands under thick mud and huge rocks. Affected residents say the incident occurred late Wednesday evening during the downpour, forcing many to flee their homes in panic as rocks rolled down the mountain. Strong force, 2 persons, a man and a woman who became trapped in the debris, were rescued by residents before emergency personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service arrived at the scene. Some affected residents who spoke to Channel One News described the incident as terrifying, saying they lost personal belongings, livestock and source of livelihood.
I had just gone into the house, checked things, gone into the house, and about 20 minutes later, just a bunch of mud, stones, trees, everything came down just all at once. And we thank God for saving lives. Nobody's hurt very much. We have 2 people in the hospital, but looks like they'll be out within a day or 2. We're very thankful for that.
Member of Parliament for the area, Kwame governs Agboja, while commiserating with affected residents, cautioned against the cultivation of crops and indiscriminate cutting of trees along the Adaklu mountain, warning that such activities could weaken the land and increase the risk of future disasters.
We didn't lose a life, though 2 of my people are injured at the hospital, but they are not serious injuries. If you recall, this is the second time in a few years that this has happened. On both occasions, it's happened in the night. If it were to happen during the day, when my people are on the mountain for farming and other things, it would have been a different story. I am not sure whether we'll be lucky for the 3rd time. So my suggestion to the elders is to find a way of, let's have a dialogue as to whether we want to continue cultivating our crops around the mountain.
Meanwhile, the Volta Regional Minister, James Gunu, says measures are being put in place to prevent future occurrences and ensure the safety of residents living in communities surrounding the mountain.
The whole place now has become a security zone. It's a disaster scene, and anybody visiting this site need to be very careful because we cannot guarantee the safety of our people. So we need to send a message around, and as indicated by the Honorable Minister.
This is still the Channel One Newsroom on Channel One TV with me, Eno Safo. Still to
The best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious. Go here.
Lizzy hot pepper sauce, spicy. Bona yete, Lizzy, oh Lizzy. Lizzy
the Sito is Sitole. Lizzy Shito, overfail.
Lizzy Shito, please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzy Shito, dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzy Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy and
Lizzy Shito hot pepper sauce. Spicy.
For bulk purchase, kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friendly sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso. tontom preko.
This is Channel One Sports with Gabby Affair. Gabby, what's coming up in sports?
Yeah, the Black Stars are in action later tomorrow.
Give us the details.
Right, let's get into it. Now, the Black Stars will face Mexico for the fifth time in an international friendly in Puebla as preparations continue for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, the match is scheduled for Friday, May 22, but will kick off at 2 a.m. on Saturday, Ghana time, and that's May 23. Now, with the World Cup approaching, players from the Ghana Premier League and also the national under-23 team are expected to use the game to push for places in Carlos Queiroz's final 26-man squad. Mexico and Ghana continue their preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup at the Estadio Cuauhtémoc on Friday, with both nations heading into the global tournament with differing objectives. Mexico, who are co-hosting the tournament alongside Canada and the United States, carry the added pressure of performing on home soil, while the Black Stars will be hoping new head coach Carlos Queiroz settles in quickly to help end their disappointing run of results. Just like Ghana, Mexico are also expected to be without several top stars for Friday night's encounter, but the Mexican national team will still be aiming to maintain their strong form ahead of the tournament they are set to co-host. Meanwhile, former Black Stars players Prince Tego and Emmanuel Ajimambedu have urged the new faces in the Ghana squad to step up and impress as they push for places in Carlos Queiroz's final 26-man squad for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to call. I mean, some few people to add up to the team to also justify their last game to see who, I mean, can be added to the role players. I mean, the role squad that used to play for the qualification. So whoever that gets this chance have to prove that is capable of being in the national team. That will also help the coach to do a good selection.
And get injured or they never come back again. So he's trying to test if he can get some numbers to add to the team. Ashimero has been in the team, and unfortunately because of injuries is on and off. Afenya Jan, we already know him. Osman know him, and those of us who champion for the local guys too. Now we have given some the opportunity. Listen, that's the only thing we can do for them. They should go on the field, showcase their talents, convince the coach, and they can add them to the national team.
Neil Armstrong Motagbe, Head of Public Relations and Strategy at the Ghana Football Association, also weighed in on what the technical team will be looking out for after assembling a large group of players who could be making their Black Stars debut.
From a football fan's perspective, they might have been an expectation that they wanted to see some more familiar faces. But I believe from the technical team's perspective, they also want to see what other options could they bring up to help to bring some level of additional competitiveness within the ultimate squad that is announced. And I reckon that is the reason why we saw the call-up that we saw. And after tomorrow's game, I reckon that the technical team will be in a position to release the long-awaited squad for Mother Ghana.
Right, so that's the very latest in the world of sports. I am Gabby Ofe. Back to you now.
Thank you very much, Gabby. And that's how we end today's bulletin. Do remember that our website, channel1newsonline.com, has more stories. Subscribe to Channel One TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel One TV. Download the Channel One News app on the Google Play Store. I am Eno Safo. Many thanks for watching.